Shocking scenes unfolded in today's episode of Coronation Street as Cassie Playmember appeared to meet a terrifying fate at the hands of Tyrone Dobbs's father, Ross Wilkes. In last week's episodes, Cassie attempted to get Ross out of her life by secretly adding some of Tyrone's painkillers to his drink. Ever since Ross arrived in Weatherfield, Cassie had found it unbearable watching her family welcome him into their lives. She eventually revealed to Tyrone that Ross had raped her when she was just 15 years old, leaving her pregnant with his child. Although Tyrone confronted his father over the accusation, Ross convinced him that he had changed, leading Tyrone to give him another opportunity. Later, when Cassie discovered Ross was due to undergo a drug test for a new prison job, she crushed Tyrone's medication and mixed it into a drink Ross intended to take with him. However, Ross realized exactly what she had done and avoided drinking it. Instead, he tricked Tracy Barlow into consuming the tainted smoothie, leaving her seriously ill and requiring hospital treatment. Tracy quickly blamed Cassie, pointing out that she had a history of tampering with drinks. While she initially lacked evidence, Steve McDonald later found the empty pill packet among Cassie's belongings, seemingly proving Tracy's suspicions. Cassie insisted Ross had deliberately planted the packet to frame her, but nobody believed her. Exhausted by her repeated accusations against Ross, her loved ones dismissed her claims and turned their backs on her. Feeling completely alone, Cassie realized there was nothing left for her in Weatherfield. Before leaving for a new job elsewhere, she made one final attempt to convince Tyrone that Ross was dangerous, but he refused to listen. Following an emotional goodbye, Cassie made her way to the precinct where she was supposed to meet Steve. Before he arrived, however, Ross intercepted her and offered to drive her to the train station. While parked on a quiet roadside, Ross chillingly admitted that he had intentionally poisoned Tracy in order to make Cassie take the blame. Cassie fought back by threatening to report him to the police for raping her years earlier. At that moment, Ross lost his temper, locked the car, and refused to let her leave. Those were Cassie's final on-screen moments, strongly suggesting this marked the end of her time on the soap. Several hours later, Ross returned to Tyrone's home as though nothing had happened. He casually offered to help with childcare now that Cassie had supposedly left town before taking Tracy back to her house. As he walked away, Ross was shown carrying a family photograph that had belonged to Cassie. Only Ross knows what truly happened after Cassie accepted his lift. Everyone else believes Cassie has simply started a new life away from Weatherfield, but viewers have been left fearing a much darker outcome that Ross may have killed her. Whether the truth will ever come to light remains to be seen. Bethany receives encouraging news about Sarah as Kit uncovers a crucial lead in Coronation Street. Sarah remains in prison after confessing to Theo Silverton's death, but she has continued to protect Gary Wendy's by refusing to reveal the full extent of his involvement in the cover-up. However, Kit is beginning to believe that Gary's actions could actually help Sarah's case. The storyline begins when Jay arrives at Kit's apartment carrying a hard drive filled with the phone data the detective requested while continuing his investigation into the events surrounding Theo's death. Wanting to know what Kit has discovered, Bethany presses him for answers. He eventually explains his theory, revealing that although Sarah admitted to killing Theo, Gary's actions afterwards may have influenced the legal consequences she now faces. Kit believes that if he can demonstrate Gary prevented Sarah from immediately reporting the incident to the police, it could result in a lighter sentence for her. For Bethany, who has been desperate for any positive development since Sarah was jailed, it's the first genuine reason to feel optimistic. Determined to find evidence, Kit begins examining the information recovered from Gary's phone. It doesn't take long before he notices something that immediately grabs his attention. The exact discovery remains unknown, but whatever Kit finds is significant enough for him to arrange a meeting with Gary. Spotting him in the rover's return, Kit casually remarks that he's had an interesting day before suggesting Gary visit him later at the flat. Unsurprisingly, it's an invitation Gary is unlikely to welcome. The latest development follows a series of emotional events for the Platt family. Earlier in the week, Bethany visited Sarah in prison and updated her on everything that had happened, including Jod's unexpected appearance at Audrey Roberts' birthday celebration. She also told Sarah that Jod had finally confessed to attacking her on the night Theo died, giving police the truth about what happened after Sarah admitting to killing Theo. Sarah has remained determined to keep Gary out of the investigation. During questioning by DS Lisa Swain, Sarah accepted responsibility for Theo's death, but insisted Gary played almost no role afterwards, claiming she ended their phone call shortly after he answered. Kit has never been convinced by Sarah's account and has repeatedly encouraged her to reveal the complete truth, believing Gary's decision to help cover up the incident ultimately made Sarah's situation much worse. Despite his efforts, Sarah has refused to incriminate Gary, maintaining that he only became involved because she pleaded with him for help. Away from the investigation, Gary's deception has already taken its toll on his marriage. Maria Connor recently found a wedding photograph proving Gary had lied about his whereabouts on the night Theo died. Faced with the evidence, Gary admitted disposing of the murder weapon and even sending a text from Theo's phone to mislead everyone about what had happened. Although Maria was left heartbroken by his confession, she chose not to withdraw the statement she had already given to the police, believing doing so would have serious consequences for Liam and Jake. With Sarah continuing to protect Gary and Kit closing in on the truth, the coming week could mark a major turning point in the investigation. The big question now is whether Kit has finally uncovered the evidence that could improve Sarah's future, or if another shocking twist is still waiting before the full truth about Theo's death is finally revealed. And if Gary is eventually implicated, will Sarah ever be able to forgive Kit? Coronation Street's Lauren faces criticism as Beth's heartbreaking storyline continues. Lauren Bolton will come under fire in upcoming Coronation Street episodes after her emotions get the better of her following the circumstances surrounding Betsy Swain's devastating stroke. Betsy was left with a blood clot after being strangled during consensual sex with Dylan Wilson. Although Betsy insists she agreed to what happened, Lauren cannot accept that version of events. In scenes airing on the Wednesday the 5th of August, Lauren is caring for Betsy, but their time together quickly turns tense as an argument breaks out between them. Frustrated by the confrontation, Lauren walks out and leaves Betsy alone. After calming down, she decides to return only to be met with a distressing sight. When Lauren gets back, she finds Betsy in tears, after she has been unable to make it to the toilet in time. Shortly afterwards, Carla arrives home and is furious, accusing Lauren of abandoning Betsy when she needed someone by her side. A source explained, Betsy and Lauren have been clashing for several weeks, and the strain between them keeps growing. Lauren can't understand why. Betsy refuses to give a statement against Dylan. When Lauren leaves after their row, she has no idea how badly things will unfold for Betsy. Carla doesn't hold back in confronting her, but the question is whether the friendship can recover. Lauren's outrage over Dylan doesn't end there. A preview released by ITV for next week's episodes reveals she later confronts him in the street. During the heated encounter, Lauren accuses Dylan of treating women as playthings before slapping him across the face and shoving him to the ground. Dylan falls heavily and is left unconscious following the attack. Viewers should also note that Coronation Street will not air on Friday, 7th of August because of live football coverage. Instead, the postponed episode will be shown on Sunday the 9th of August. Coronation Street airs on ITV1 on weekday evenings at 8:30 p.m. with episodes also available to stream on ITVX.